He's part Bear Grylls and part Bill Gates. Dick Smith wears many hats: adventurer, entrepreneur, philanthropist. He's lived an extraordinary life. Tonight, I talk to him about his brilliant career.
I love flying. It's three-dimensional, and a helicopter is like a magic carpet. Look, I can just move my hand here and we can roll over like this. Look at that.
It's wonderful.
Isn't that beautiful?
I better get up a bit higher too, because if one of these big road trains...
Choppers, planes, balloons, boats. Dick Smith has ridden them all to the dickiest places on the planet.
I was quite frightened crossing the Atlantic when I was over a very rough ocean with huge icebergs and a storm, and I couldn't go back to where I'd come from, and there were snow showers in front of me, so I couldn't see. And I thought, if I get out of this alive, I'm going to ship the helicopter home and catch a Qantas plane.
Yeah, but to me, it's a beautiful area.
He has flown, mainly solo and single engine, around the world 5 times.
From Australia to Antarctica, no one had ever flown.
Climbed rocky peaks in the South Pacific. There's a young Dick having a wash.
Yeah, I've fitted a lot in, and I actually can't believe I'm still alive.
From an early age, the adventure streak made up for the lack in other things in his life.
I was incredibly dumb at school.
But he had a passion for electronics.
And I gradually started building crystal sets and then one-valve radios, and I turned my hobby into a business.
The kid who failed school became a household name in the 70s and 80s, bringing electronic gadgets to the masses. At one time, you were making more money than the Prime Minister, and you were in your early 20s.
Exactly right, yes. I started off with $610, not very much money. I thought the height of success would be if I had 3 or 4 people working for me, but I did incredibly well. The business that started off with $610 eventually turned over $1 billion a year.
That's $1 billion 40 years ago.
And there's a store near you.
You used to go around and collect the cash at the end of the day and put it in the boot of the car.
That's exactly right. I'd put the cash in the boot of the car and take it down to the bank, because those days there were no credit cards.
The secret to his success was also his clever use of stunts to get free publicity, whether it be double-decker buses jumping bikes or an iceberg coming down Sydney Harbour. It got the business name out there. Then you decided, because you got that passion for adventure, to open a magazine. It did well too.
I've always loved the environment, and so Australian Geographic magazine was to change my image, and I didn't know I'd make any money out of it, but in the end I did.
And he invested all that cash very wisely.
Interesting, a lot of people think I've made my money out of Dick Smith Electronics and also publishing, Australian Geographic, but I've actually made most of my money out of buying commercial property.
And you never kept that money, you gave it away in the end, didn't you?
Yes, the money I got from Australian Geographic, Pip and I have given all that away. We're very proud because we had enough money from Dick Smith Electronics, we didn't need any more money.
For decades, the philanthropist has given away millions of dollars a year to various charities.
My giving has always been for selfish reasons, and that is it makes me feel okay. I don't have to feel uncomfortable about my wealth because I try and help people when I can.
The blockade at the dam site will continue.
And his wealth has assisted many causes close to his heart.
Thousands of people took to the streets.
Like the Tasmanian dam protest in the 1980s.
And I remember actually flying the helicopter down and dropping radios off on the mountaintop so they could use a relay to get around the police roadblock. That I went down to visit Bob Brown when he was in Risdon Jail in Hobart, and I got Pip to bake a cake, and we put a file inside the cake. So I was going to deliver the cake to him. Unfortunately, I chickened out and I took the file out because I thought, gee, this might be quite serious if I arrive in a jail with a file.
And gee, you and I have been to some farms and factories, haven't we, over the years?
Yeah, the most wonderful thing, Brady, and you'll remember this with Dick Smith Foods, when we went out to those small manufacturers and the growers and talked to them. How you going?
But all the true blue patriotism in the world couldn't save his homegrown brand from foreign imports.
There was no way we could compete, and most Aussies, they'll pay 30 cents or 50 cents more for Australian, but not double or not $1 more, and that was our problem.
And by Dick Smith Foods,
It was a terrible pity because I wanted it to succeed. As it was, I think we gave over $400 million worth of business for Australian farmers, and also we gave $11 million away to charity. So it was successful in that way. It will continue to improve.
Yet with all that was going on, he still had time to head the Civil Aviation Authority. I can't see you at business meetings just sitting down with bureaucrats. Truly, I can't. How was that?
Being the chairman of CASA showed me why the Soviet Union collapsed. Because really the Canberra bureaucracy is something completely different, and compared to the free enterprise system, you can't compare.
Not bad for the kid who came 45th out of a class of 47.
But I managed to do okay, so it shows in Australia you can be pretty hopeless academically, but you can still do okay, and it's still possible today.
Will Dick Smith ever retire?
Will I ever retire? Well, no, look, I've always been an adventurer, and most of my adventuring now is walking, presently driving around Australia with Pip in a camper van.
I'm right on the top of the world. I'm going to do the quickest journey ever around the world. Down here, they were heading for Alert Point.
We're cruising at 21,500 feet. I've used my 9 lives, and so I'm being more careful now.
And being careful has given him the opportunity to write his autobiography.
The fact that I'm now 77, I've been able to write my life story, and I'm still alive. I can't believe it.
Isn't he just a great Australian?